ran up to the bema, pounded the floor, looked up and said, "Next to you, God, I am nothing." Next to Cantor, did the same thing, pounded the table. Finally, Jack, ordinary guy, went to the bema, pounded the floor, said, "Before you, God, I am nothing. I can't imagine what you are. I am nothing." And I saw the rabbi go like this to the cantor. Look who thinks he's nothing. Sadie came from that neighborhood, but she moved to Canarsie. Sadie was from that same neighborhood, and she moved to Canarsie. And she was married for 35 years, and her husband died. And she was in mourning. It was a very difficult time. But she had friends, and after a while, she seemed ready, and one of her friends introduced her to a fellow, and she really liked the fellow. So they went out, and after a while, she took him home, got undressed except for black underwear. And he said, "What's that?" And she said, "I'm in mourning, everything else is fair game." Well, they saw each other again and again. And then, same thing, she wore her black underwear, and she sees he has a black condom on. She said, "What's that?" He said, "I'm going to make a shiver call." Going to another part of the world, going to Israel, Jacob liked to do archaeological digs. And one day he found a genie bottle. He rubbed it and the genie came out. The genie said, "Oh, thank you, it's been in there so long. You got a wish." And Jacob says, "I'm a happy man. I got everything I want. I love Israel. I love being here. What do I need?" He said, "Okay, here's what I'd like. Can you make peace in the Middle East?" And the genie says, That's above my pay grade. That's just too hard to do." So he said, "Give me another one." He said, "Well, could you make my wife a little more passionate? Kiss me, where and everything?" And the genie says, "Oh man, you're the roughest one I've ever had." And he goes back and forth, this way and that way. He doesn't know what to do. And then genie looks back at Jacob and said, "Let me see that map of the Middle East again." I visited a friend of mine, a lawyer, and this was told to me by a lawyer. He was very upset. I mean, he was just absolutely, visibly upset. And I said, "Bob, what's wrong?" And he said, "I'm friends with Bob and the pastor and the accountant, with John, the pastor and the accountant." And I said, "No, I didn't know they were friends. I know we're good friends, but I didn't know you had them too." And he said, "Well, about 3 years ago, John said to me, can you I'm giving you 100,000, and I'm giving it to the other two guys also. And when I die, and I'm not doing too well right now, just put it in with me." And he said, "Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know if he did it." And then he passed away recently. And the lawyer and the accountant and the pastor got together. And the pastor said, "I have a confession to make. We're a poor parish. I took 50,000. You know how we wanted that expansion in the name of what we do." And the accountant said, "I took 40,000 and I donated it to cancer charities, and you know what's happened in my family." And Bob said, "I'm so upset they did that. I put a perfectly good check into the coffin." My daughter And I'm lucky. I have 2 daughters and 3 grandsons. Grateful for that every day. That's not a joke. When one of my daughters was about 14 years old, I said, Rebecca, if you're third in line to get on the bus, are you afraid you won't get on? And she said, how do you know? I said, Rebecca, I know. And then a few years later, I said, Rebecca, remember we talked about getting on the bus if you're third in line? And she said, yes. I said, do you still worry about getting on the bus? She said, no, but I worry if I'm going to get the seat that I want. Thank you for letting me do this. It's the one time in my life